know this your boy, the king of Philly, Gillie. Shout out to Mikey T, the movie star, man.
So I wanted to get your reaction today to the passing of Fred the Godson, Gil. It's a blow to his family and his friends and a major blow to hip-hop.
Yeah, man, it is, man. And you know what? Fred was a good dude, man. Like, Fred was one of them dudes. If you ain't like Fred or you had something against Fred, like, you really like a nut ass nigga. Cause Fred was just like a good dude. Like, it's only like a few people I met in my life that it was hard. You can't even picture nobody not liking them. Like Ab Lava that was in my clique, Major Figures. Ab Lava, like, you couldn't picture a nigga not with Ab as a person, cause niggas was such good people that it's like, how could you not with Fred? How could you not Lava? Like, you know what I'm saying? So Fred was a good dude, man. And just the sad part about it is, you know, he had to die alone, man. You know what I'm saying? He in the hospital. Can't nobody come see him. Can't nobody visit him. Like, he just laying in the hospital, and then you just check. Like, that's got to be some of the saddest shit in the world, man.
Gil, what was your initial reaction to Fred's passing? I know a lot of people took to the internet. What was your initial reaction?
It was just like, damn, I felt bad for his family. You know what I'm saying? Because let's be for real, when you got the coronavirus, you're isolated. It's not like your peoples could come visit you. But I mean, if he was in the hospital for 12 days, he was in the hospital for 12 days all by himself. Ain't nobody by his bedside. And then you just die. And then when you die, you can't even get the proper funeral because everybody's still in isolation. So you might get a funeral with 2, 3, 4 people at your funeral. Like, that's and I mean, that's just... Yeah.
I know you recently did some work with Fred. What do you think his legacy will be in hip-hop when it's all said and done?
I mean, he was a spitter. I mean, he was a spitter. He was, you know, even though he didn't have all the accolades, you know, the platinum records, and he was a spitter that you had to respect because he talked that shit. He expressed himself in a good way. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like me, I know I was blackballed. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I was never gonna go triple platinum. I was never gonna get a true opportunity. But at the end of the day, y'all gonna respect my mouthpiece. Feel me? Y'all gonna respect this shit that I'm talking. Y'all ain't got no choice but to do that.
Gil, could you take me back to when you first met Fred the Godson?
Oh man, that was years ago, man. Like, I don't even remember my first encounter with Fred the Godson because I knew him so long. Like I don't even remember my first encounter with him. You know what I mean? I know I was in New York and we was introduced to each other from somebody. I can't quite remember, man. I smoked too much, Mikey. But ever since then, it was all love. Like, I just shot a video with Fred in the last year. You know what I'm saying? We shot a video together up in so like Redden or something. We did it, me, him, and some other kid named Mooka.
Yeah, I was definitely just watching that video today, man. You know, like, when you hear Fred's verses, it's just like, what Fred the Godson verse was not a classic verse, almost.
Yeah, he was a spitter, man. He did his job very well. That's something nobody could take away from him.
You know, this really hit home for hip-hop. Do you think the coronavirus will have any more hip-hop casualties?
Well, I pray it doesn't. You know what I mean? But, you know, only God know that. You know, everybody got, you know, God got a plan for everybody. And, you know, once his plan is in place, it ain't nothing we can do about it. So, you know, I hope don't nobody else die. Whether it's a rapper, singer, regular person, you know, fucker that work for SEPTA or a lawyer or, you know what I mean, a doctor. I hope don't nobody else pass from it. You know what I'm saying? But hopefully not, you know what I'm saying?
I guess that sort of plays into what you were saying about Atlanta, and then you noticed it yourself while you were driving around in Philly, and even me riding around in Connecticut. I see a lot of people out in the by the marinas.
Well, at the end of the day, man, obviously those people don't take it as serious as me. You know what I mean? My family. Hopefully they don't catch it. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully we coronavirus free. I don't think we are, because they keep saying there's more cases every day. But people going to do what they want to, man. And some people got the mindset of I'm not living in fear of nothing. I'm gonna go outside. I'm okay. Well, I don't really call that living in fear. I call that living in intelligence. You know what I mean? Living in a smart way. But some people call it fear. So, like I had a girl on my live tell me this shit ain't real, and I'm like, I know 4 people that died from this shit in a month. I don't know 4 people that's died in a month in my whole life. Like, so yes, bitch, it's very real. You better get your mind right. But she was a young girl, 24. This is not real. Government's lying. I'm on my way out now. So that's some people's mindset, man.
So in saying that, Gil, how do you keep the Rona away and live a healthy lifestyle, you and your family?
I mean, we just doing what everybody else doing, quarantining, Mikey. Hoping that shit don't jump up on us, man.
I can respect that, man. It's good to actually get to talk to you, because Philly is a frequent spot for me, so it's kind of hard for me not being able to come to and from Philly.
All right. Yeah, Philly, like I wouldn't say your second home. I would say probably your third.
Because of Florida, right?
Miami's your second.
Facts.
I know you, Mikey.
All right, Gil. So I need one positive ARAB story for the Report Card Radio audience, because at one point you had actually told me that you had done something to help every single Philly hip-hop artist. What was that you had done for ARAB?
I'm pretty sure I probably, I got one time. Okay, so Cosmic Kev called me. You know what I'm saying? He was like, yo, who should I get on the Come Up show, man? Blah, 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 blah. We was thinking of some people that he should get on the Come Up show. And I said, you know what? No, fuck that. Get Ab on there. Get AR on there. You know what I mean? He gonna join up. And this was years ago when Ab was just really, you know what I mean, setting his feet. And, setting his feet down in the concrete. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, you know what? Yeah. Damn, I don't know nobody got a number on him. Hold on. I got a number on him right here. Yo, Ab. Yo, yeah, it's me and Cosmic Kev on the phone, bro. You want to do the Come Up show? Yeah, you're fucking right. Yeah, all right. Cool. Here you go. So, that's the type of shit I do. But, Ab was a solid nigga out here, man. Yeah, I mean, I just wish that some of the things he did on social media he didn't do. You know what I'm saying? But, you can't cry over spilt milk. You know what I'm saying? But Ab was a solid dude out here. You know what I mean? He was just trying to break through in the rap game. Shout out to him and the whole OBH, man.
On a positive note, Gil, ARAB had actually told me that when he was younger, he actually watched you and the major figures coming up in the hip-hop industry. What were your thoughts when Cassidy actually gave him an opportunity within Larceny Family?
Well, it depends on what you look at as an opportunity. I mean, what opportunity did Cass really give him? You know what I'm saying? I can't say I gave you an opportunity. We just was hanging together. I don't know. Do they got a bunch of music out?
Well, I mean, they did a lot of freestyles together on that same platform, the Cosmic Kev platform.
I mean, but that's Cosmic Kev looking out. You know what I'm saying? That's a difference. You know what I mean? Like every interview I seen with ARAB after Cassidy, he basically said Cassidy was trying to play him. You know what I'm saying? So, not taking that away from Cassidy, because, I guess if Cassidy did some work with him, I guess he did help him. You know what I mean? Because Cassidy was the bigger artist at the time. And if I'm the bigger artist at the time and I do some work with you, then I guess that is helping you. But you know what I mean? I don't really feel as though Ab looked at it that way. But you know, I'm not here to speak for AR Ab or none of the OBHU. I'm not here to speak for Cassidy or none of the Larceny family. But I'm saying I don't think that Ab looked at it as though it was just seeing the interviews that he did after he left Cassidy. He said something about Cassidy had him sleeping on the couch or some shit he was saying. You know what I mean, like that. So I don't really think he looked at it like that. I think he looked at it like, okay, I hung around Cassidy. I might have learned a lot of things about the music industry. Let me go apply it to my real life now.
So, you know, Gillie, I want to ask you, really, I got to ask you, being the king of Philly, I wanted to speak with you about the online attack and the Philly, even people from Philly saying that Dark Low is a snitch for the conversation that he had with the feds. Could you speak on that?
Man, at the end of the day, man, Dark Low got an ongoing case, man. You know what I mean? I don't know if they went to trial yet. I don't know. So, for me, man, that ain't really none of my business. You feel what I'm saying? So, I don't really get into that, Mikey T, man. One thing I do, man, I just do what I do. And, and I stick to what I do, man. And what I do is $1 million worth of game. What I do is $1 million worth of game records. What I do is mac and cheese, my sons. And you know what I mean? Like, that's still an ongoing investigation, so it's yet to see, it's yet to see what any of it is. You know what I'm saying? I mean, well, not investigation, but an ongoing trial type of thing. I think Dark Low's still facing charges, got to go to trial. So for me, man, I don't really got no comment on that. I don't really got an opinion on that.
All right, Gil, I got to respect that, man. I got to respect that, but maybe I could ask you, are you aware of a term, self-snitching? Is that a term?
Yeah, if you snitch on, but first of all, any that get locked up, we see self-snitching on First 48 every day. And they get locked up and they say, no, it was me, such and such and such and such in the car. That's self-snitching. So yeah, I've definitely heard of the term.
All right, so me, such and such and such, but what if they're literally just saying it was me?
That's still self-snitching, because what person gonna get on the stand and snitch on themselves?
Man, I see that you had G Herbo on the $1 Million Worth of Game show. Could you tell me how, it seemed like you two had a great relationship. Could you tell me how, like, you guys actually formed the relationship?
Well, G Herbo, that's nephew. You know what I mean? One of my old Cash Money millionaire rebels, and my brother for life, Mickey, we was both signed to Cash Money. He managed G Herbo, so just the process of me seeing Mickey win, coming from where we came from in our Cash Money days, it's beautiful. You know what I mean? And Mickey's a very intelligent guy who know how to put shit into action. So G Herbo is surrounded by some really good people. Shout out to Mickey, shout out to V. You know what I mean? And G Herbo is an intelligent young guy himself, so nephew know what he doing.
That's right, man. That's right. You also had Waka Flocka on the show, man. How has it been having guests like that on the show? Can we expect any more?
Yeah. As soon as this coronavirus over, we gonna go get a lot of people, man. Yeah, I mean, Waka's a good dude, man. Waka's a solid guy, man. He always been a solid guy. You know what I'm saying? I admire him and his family, and I admire him first of all, I admire him as a rapper. I admire him as a family man, as a businessman. You know what I'm saying? And just an all around straight up dude. Walk it a long way. Feel me?
Gil, the last topic I want to touch on with you is these Instagram battles. Have you been tuning in?
Yes, sir.
All right, so I want to ask you, Gil, what's your thoughts on...
There go Mac right here, Mikey. Let's say what's up to Mikey T. He's a big time. He's a big time. Yeah.
Yo, Mac, let me get your take right before we jump into this next exclusive, man. If it was an Instagram battle, 50 Cent, Ja Rule, who's taking that one?
50 Cent.
All right, 37 Mac says 50 Cent.
Who you say?
I say maybe 50 Cent.
I thought you.
But
Ja Rule battle,
like you know how they play the songs back and forth, like how.
Yeah, 50 Cent. Yeah, 50
I
Cent.
mean, but Ja Rule got a lot of hits.
He do.
Ja Rule got a lot of
Ja
hits.
Rule songs, but I think 50 Cent though.
Yeah, I think 50 just because 50 gonna come more on street shit. You know what I mean?
I thought he meant like box match.
No. You know, and on street shit, I mean, on battles, you know, the more street shit is always gonna win. You know what I mean? Ja Rule had a lot of girly records. You know what I'm saying?
So could it be interesting, or should they just leave it alone, though, Gil?
I mean, no, it would definitely be interesting because Ja Rule ain't no hoe. It's not like Ja Rule. Ja Rule got mega hits. You know what I'm saying? It's not like Ja Rule is just some nigga who, no, he's so full of records too. You know what I'm saying? But I just think 50, you know, had not necessarily a better body of work, but 50 Cent shit is going to be more street and more gutter, more ring out in the club, more, you know what I mean, where, you know, Ja Rule had a lot of his, like, I'm living it up, but I do.
That was a banger.
Do. And, you know, it was a straight, he had a bunch of joints like that. But then, you know, 50 Cent had, you say you were gangster, but you never shot nothing. You say you were wankster. You know, he had street anthems. Opposed to, you know, Ja Rule had lady anthems. You know what I mean? So, that's the only reason why I would pick 50 Cent.
But let's look at the realistic of it, Gillie. You're a songwriter. Which of these two men is the better songwriter? You talked about the clubs. Which one's the better songwriter?
I don't know, man. You know, at the end of the day, it's about what you're looking for. You know what I'm saying? That's like saying who's the better songwriter, Jay-Z or Drake. It depends on what you're looking for. You feel what I'm saying? If you're looking for that's gonna give you some singing shit, you know what I mean? Then you know some melodic shit. You know, if that's the type of music you like, then you gonna go for Drake. If you like who going sometimes rapping, that shit gonna touch your soul, and he gonna say some shit that you gonna be like, oh my God, then that's Hova. You know what I mean? It's like okay, that's like saying, you know, it all depends on what you like. You know, that's what make the world go round. We all different, Mikey. So you may ask, who the better songwriter? Ja Rule or Talib Kweli? Now, is a backpack rapper. They like that type of music. They picking Talib Kweli. You feel what I'm saying?
You know, another thing I'm thinking is, like, is this one too personal to put on live stream? You know, because I think that feud, you know, it was a little bit more worse than you and Wayne. Because I could see you and Wayne being on the live stream together, but their feud was a little bit more personal.
Right. Yeah. Well, you know, but see, at the end of the day, it's all about what they're trying to accomplish from it. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, that would be the biggest live back and forth that they ever had. I don't care who battle, unless you get Drake versus Jay-Z. Ain't going. It's not. That's the only battle that you could do on live that could possibly almost come close to the numbers that Ja Rule and 50 Cent gonna do. Because guess why? People know they don't each other. People know. Then people gonna go on there just to see the antics that 50 Cent gonna pull up, but they know he gonna do some crazy shit. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, that would break the internet, literally. That shit would crash the internet if 50 and Ja did that. But I don't really think, you know, 50 Cent is in a whole different headspace, man. That nigga's cleaning up, man. That nigga got shows on ABC, man, and shit like that, man. You feel what I'm saying? So for him, it's like a rap battle. Come on, man. I'm producing full this year, man. I ain't got no time for that shit.
Damn. I was gonna ask you if you could put two people up against each other in an Instagram battle, who it would be.
I think a good one would be Jeezy and T.I.
Oh yeah, yeah. Everyone's always talking about them as the king of the South.
Yeah, I mean, I think a good one would be Jeezy and T.I. Yeah, I mean, but just because I like both of their music, you know what I'm saying? And just for me, that's just my opinion. I think both of them had really good music for the, especially for the moments they was in. You know what I mean? And both of them had a hell of a run. You know what I mean? And both of them from Atlanta, so that'll be some real live good shit right there.